issue, Junko kind of wanders off and gets lost, never seen again, but what if she comes back, baby? Blessed be. We pray for the return of Saint Junko. You understand that if she comes back, I'm going to call it the second coming. Good day, people on a fine day in the year of the paradigm, tuning Dave Bravo Dave Anomaly, you know, Mulcars. If you know me as the man. Whew. This is, and I think I'm gonna double check while this episode starts, the Danganronpa Hunger Games. This is Pi Day, and it's a tag team episode, but I do remember Pi Day, not just because, you know, it's 3.14, 159265358. There you go. I remember it because, well, I mean, I do remember it for that reason more specifically, but I also remember this is now adjacent to the Ultimate episode's releases, or release date. And I think that means that this episode, the Pi Day episode, if I were to guess, it's now 6 years old. And I'm pretty sure that's right. Ultimate. I don't know why I didn't just go to my channel. Well, that is unfortunate. That's taking me to the first episode. Well, I guess I could just check the date, but I kind of want to go back to, you know, that episode, you know what I mean? You know, I think I titled it actually Every Single Ultimate. Danganronpa, Hunger Games. I'm sorry, this is such a detour. Every Single Ultimate. Yes, that is the name of it. It says 5 years ago now. But it was released in 2019, so that'll tick over to 6 years ago at the time of viewing, which is kind of crazy. It is, but that's not what this is about. This, we'll do like a callback to that at the end of this month, I think. Because I have an idea for it. That being said, it'll be a fun special idea. We might do it live, who knows. Today we have, I think, so here's what I was thinking. I got a bunch of characters here, and you know what I want to do with these characters? I grabbed the teams where I thought between the two of them, the both of them could separately tell me the digits of pi that would normally show on like a standard calculator that's about this size. So 3.14159, and that's it. Which should be relatively easy. So I went through and I was like, let's find some characters, because this has already been 3 minutes. So actually, from my recording time, which is not the same time that you guys, it was 3 minutes and 14 seconds when I looked over. I think that's hilarious. That being said, let's talk about it. These two, I don't think could do it. But Paimon's here because, I mean, like, the name starts with Pi, let's be real. Paimon and Monica, they're also the tag team champions, so, you know, tag team champion's gonna be in the episode. That's the only reason why Paimon's here. That being said, as we scroll down, we have Ghost Zone, our tag team Agents of Chaos. I do believe that both of these two probably know. Hot Docs, easy, Taichi and Dotori. Three's Company, I feel like Kotoko probably has that random bit of information in her brain. Kokoto, I think, is the more responsible of the two, between Kotoka and Kokoto, so I'm gonna take Kokoto for this one. Where there's smoke, definitely not Yoimiya, but I believe the teacher, Mishima, and Nagito would know. Anything for her, Mukuro, I feel like, knows, and Renmaru, I feel like, has been in a classroom setting enough where he might have just accidentally learned it. What I go to school for, we got our teachers in here. Chisa and Kawakami probably know. Team Makoto, I think all three of them would know, admittedly. So I let our general manager go and plan some things for Inferno. Makoto and Nijima in the game today. Get Motivated, Zuru and Nekamaru. More Than Meets the Eye, Sakura and Akechi. Music Theory has Shuichi and Heizo. Laser Focus, Kole and Natsumi. Natsumi, I feel like, probably new from Hope's Peak. Kole is studying for academia test and will choose her like academia school at some point. And I think during all those studies, she probably has memorized several digits of pi. Fast food fight Maki and Teto. Large and in charge, Big Junko. Also, Maki I feel like studious enough. Teto I feel like is a meme enough. I think Teto knows it as a meme. Big Junko and Togami as I was going forward. World Forgive Me, I think this is the team that I'm most confident knows maybe the most digits of pi. Maya and Nahida. I think they might be the ones. Twin Tails, Junko and Nagisa. Kai, Mia, River, Kai and Hina, I debated and I was like, for some reason in my heart of hearts, I feel like Hina has this as like a random jewel of knowledge that she'll just pull out sometimes. Devotees has Mikon and Monica. Wattpad has Mew and Yuri. Voices in my head, Kibo and Chris. Water Your Plants, and this is where I kind of went debating again. Daisaku, I feel like was very studious. Auroron, I honestly am not sure if he would actually know the digits of pi. But I think, in terms of Citlali and her teachings, I feel like at some point, I don't know, during one of her light novels, there was probably some nerd, and I feel like maybe the one of those light novels from the Yai publishing house probably has some sort of title with the digits of pi. He's probably looked at it, and because Citlali, he's probably memorized it, because he's got a good memory, is what I've learned from Genshin. GameStop, Chiaki, and Silver Wolf. Disappearing Act, Usami, and Lenny. Lenny, I think, is just bright enough to just have it out of pocket. The Great Anime Bake Off has Mahiru and Kurumi. Seeing Red, Joe, and Taka, I'll be your shield, Saika, and Dedu. Loaded Dice, Halara, and Kokichi. Confident in those two, but you know what? When I said earlier I was confident that those two know the most, these two might give them a run for their money. Chihiro and So, aka Shin. Stronger together. The entire circus, Hiroko, and Pomni. Pomni, I was like, you know what? I feel like yes. Based on what I would theorize Pomni's like actual like job or whatever was prior to being in the digital circus. The future is now Tinkin and Kafka, Killer Instinct, Sato and Kanan, and Umbrella Academy, Jin and Mitsuru. And before we hop into, I like to do that as a little, hey, we can cut here to separate the next part of the episode. So I can take out of the zoom. That's usually why I do that clap. Because I want to make sure before I go into your comments from last time, is chaos gonna reign? We are back down to 5% because last time chaos did reign. This time we gonna spin that bad boy again. Will it hit at 5%? It's looking like no. Everybody, you can relax, recline in your chairs, kick your feet up in the air, sit back, relax. It's all that. Because we're at 10% next time. Actually, you know, I kind of wish I can just do this. I like to make sure we're at the right percentage for next time and then just save it while we're here. Sometimes I'll do it at the end of the episode, but I closed the tab that time and I was like, I didn't want to do that. Here. I'm gonna go through your comments from last time. What's your favorite pie? And if you're not a pie person, rather, if you could exchange your pie at a restaurant for any kind of dessert, what would be your dessert pick? And if you want to answer both of those, go ahead and answer that. I think that's just my question for today. We're gonna do a little dessert question. Because I've been, like, thinking about desserts recently. For last time, though, I think we had an interesting question, right? Yes, I think last time I asked about the sports, didn't I? Yeah, sports you'd like to try after Psykiller pointed out Toon League yearns for the light post. He sure does. I think he's been better the last couple of recordings. Opening said, I'd like to try volleyball, I guess. Akane would be the best, clearly. I would play with someone chill like Makoto or Yuta, fair enough. Yuta might dominate. Also, we sure had a shirt on last time. Lamau from The Wind XSP. Glove Boy Matthew Glover. Says March's birthday in the game didn't even last 7 days. Well, March had a very good night at Inferno that night. It was a themed episode for her birthday, and boy, did she have a great night. This is what I'm into, says Cherry, because man, did I frogged out last time. I very much frogged out. The Utsugi's wishing March a happy birthday and a happy title reign. First place for Dragon Force Star said Bernice, who was ever immortalized, rather, it's Bernice instead of Bernice. I think her actual name was Bernice, but in the song it goes Bernice. And I can't not call her Bernice anymore, or Bernice anymore. I'm trying to revert back, but it's hard, man. It's hard out here. I just wanted to point that out. Kat, who said I've never been on a sports team because I've always had more introverted hobbies, rather. I think I'd enjoy playing table tennis / ping pong though, and wouldn't mind picking it back up sometime. I think I enjoy playing, not I think I would enjoy playing. I'm not sure who would be best at the best learning mate, rather, or coach for me. Maybe Dawn's Apom from Diamond and Pearl, which would be kind of neat. I haven't watched those seasons, but was supposedly good at table tennis. And me, a Celsius user rather, watching in horror as AV simulates 66 times. We did say, well, yeah, it's 66 degrees in here. It was Fahrenheit, don't worry. Don't worry. That's hilarious. Regardless, also, I think I said last time that Neo was a part of Umbrella Academy, which is not true. It's Mitsuru, Jin, and Navi, and Neo was a part of Ice Cream Scoop. I was losing my mind a little bit. I digress. She could fit on that team. She's got a whole umbrella in her pocket. Let's start this thing, I think. I should answer my question and make my picks, though. You guys make yours in the comments. You know, favorite pie is kind of difficult because I don't like a ton of pies, and I think I may have asked this question a couple years back, because now that you think about it, we have had, I don't know if we've had another episode on a pie day. I think because we've gone 6 years doing this, we got another one, which is kind of crazy now that you think out loud about it. Wow. I think there may be a world, I think there actually is a world, especially since we did this 2 days a year instead of one for a while. I think there is a world where we have a Hunger Games for every day. For every single day. I think maybe leap year might be the one exception, but we have been doing this for 2 leap years, so let me see if a leap year occurred on... That might be something for the end of the episode. But I'm very curious. Oh, man. We had a leap year on a Thursday last year. Have we been doing one episode a day for last year, the entirety of last year? I don't know. That's something I can figure out in the future. But that is something to note. If that is the case, I do think we have an episode of the Hunger Games for every single day of the year. More than likely at this point. Which is a little crazy when you think about it. I digress. So, you know, if you have a birthday, find your birthday episode. That'd be kind of neat. Maybe that'll be a question next time. Let's start. I don't want to belabor this too long. I do want to make sure that this is silenced. Yes, it is. Let's start this bad boy. Let's start round 1. Everybody's here. Everybody is here. Not everybody, but you know. We got our Pi Day, folk. It's the Pi Day episode. We are zoomed in already. In fact, let's start this bad boy. As round 1 starts this bad boy, the tributes are starting this bad boy, the horns are starting this bad boy, so horns if you would do, you know. Thank you very much, Horn Bears. Thanks for doing your part. You are phenomenal. Kokichi's found a table, hopefully don't go to nobody goes through it. Togami finds the arena climate change remote. Oh no. Oh no. Paimon hums a song to herself. You attacks and kills Dotori. Dotori's the first one out, baby. You gotta know when to hold, know when to fold, know when Dotori's dead, and I know that he's dead right now. Mew finds us all below us. I'm sorry, Mitsuru finds us all below her concern. Very different from you. Taichi's also probably shell-shocked. Kawakami's ready to defend her friends. Linny looks around for Stuff's crowns. Vivia ambushes Azuru and murders him. But Vivia, I thought you wanted to die someday. Ranmaru seems unshaken by any of this. Usami wasn't looking to fall right off the cliff. Kafka finds some moon shoes, not liable for any broken ankles. Nagito knocks out Muna fistfight, puts a death collar on her. Mishima sobs quietly. Karumi just found a fishing rod, now she can catch all the fish. Chiaki hopes she doesn't have to harm anybody. Natsumi finds a skateboard, time to do some sick moves. Mahiru does something really cute. Hiroku uses a mysterious gas to knock out Kanan and Kokichi, death collars on the both of them. Silverwolf finds a boombox, time to play some sick beats. Hazo doesn't want to, but finds himself having to get rid of Tengen. We're getting all the old coops out of here early, you love to see it. Nagisa accepts a child's guide. Nagisa gains a power persona. Chihiro finds Thursday Davy's left shoe. Junko kind of wanders off and gets lost and never seen again, but what if she comes back, baby? Blessed be. We pray for the return of Saint Junko. You understand that if she comes back, I'm going to call it the second coming. Mukuro's ready for target practice. Luckily, she finds a slingshot. Akechi has found a table. Hopefully nobody goes through it. Pomni can't take her eyes off of Roko. Joe doesn't understand what's happening. Halara uses their wealth to create a marketable plush of Sakura without her permission. Sakura's so mad, but before they have a chance to react, the plushies catch fire and Halara loses all of her money. Oh no, but the cats! Corey finds a belt of Pokeballs. Who knows what could be inside of those? Oh no, Taka just found a dimensional scythe. He's gonna slice everybody up. Mikan, Makoto, and Maya play suspenseful music as Kole chases Sakura. Chisa finds a massive sack of apples, and Apple a Day keeps the doctor away. The doctor's already dead, so we're fine. The dude sizes his muscles. Big Junko creates marketable plushes of Kokoto without permission, but they sell like hotcakes. And boy, they're both rich. A well-placed shot by Mukuro with the slingshot hits Kokoto right in the head. She becomes dazed. Sakura is sick and tired of playing nice and turns heel. That seems about right. Chris finds a hat rack. So many hats. Teto stomps Togami and Yuri into the ground. Jin won't die like the others. Mitsuru actually wants to end things once and for all with Kole, and Mitsuru bites the dust. Is that their whole team? No, Jin's still alive, I think. Monica tripped and fell in a bush, finds a yeet ball, and let me tell you, it's yeet ball stealing season because Monica takes that, Hina takes that, Nijima takes that. And Monica form her tag team partners too, so and Chihiro come at Corey from both sides, slaughtering him. Ranmaru sneaks up behind Shuichi, but Shuichi's known that he's been followed. He's a detective. He's sleuthed out. Ranmaru's now dusted. Rest in peace to him. Nakamaru finds some leather scraps enough to patch together some rudimentary clothing. Nahida can't help her admire her own genius mind. Maya tries to build a tank out of 6 rocks. Kai twitches uncontrollably. Daisaku's fingers touch by accident with Auroron. They both blush just a little bit. Oh boy. Ooh. Kibo steals Nijima's yeet ball, runs off with it. Kanan isn't sure whether to cry, laugh, or tear her hair out. Sayaka manages to steal Shuichi's and Haizo, sneak attack them both, and murder them. Oh my! Sato steals Kibo's yeet ball, runs off with it. Maki wishes she could go home. Kotoko calls down arcane fury, brimming in her veins, protrudes an ancient scepter from the ground. She is locked and loaded. Auroron steals that yeet ball, and Makoto is glad that he can rely on Makoto. We are down 12 already, and 50 to remain in this Pi Day special. And Eclair de Lune 4. Dottore, Azuru, Usami, Tengen, Junko, Togami, Yuri, Mitsuru, Corey, Ranmaru, Shuichi, Hazel. 52 left. None of the champions are gone, but we are missing a Agent of Chaos in Corey. Hina could still potentially cash in. And I guess Vivia could potentially cash in. I'm not sure if he would want to with Corey gone in the first round, but we will see if he makes that happen. Next round sees murder. As one of our tag team champions is gone, Daisaku thanks Auroron for being there for him. Kokichi sets up a table for grabbing Monica by the throat. Big ol', actually not big ol' because he is also a little shorty, just a regular chokeslam, honestly, to a table. Mew doesn't care much for this place. Chihiro asks if he's found anything useful. Sato picks up Nino Cool lying in various places. Soen attempts to kill Auroron, but Daisaku intervenes to protect him. Yo, Daisaku and Auroron have been having like a bromance, and Daisaku dies saving Auroron, and I don't think he would have it any other way. Mukuro gathers ammo for her slingshot. Linny reminisces about his rabbit partner. Magical girl partner. Kokoto puts a death collar on Chihiro. With a flick of the ancient scepter, Kotoko turns Mew into a sheep. Chiaki finds a bike theme. Finds a bike. Cue the bike theme. Don't mind if I do. As Taichi sobs quietly, Kibo has found a table. Another one. Nijima rips the death collar off, or at least tries to. She did no damage. Jin can no longer stay by and stay idle as others kill his friends. He's feeling heroic. Maya, Sato, and Mikan grab their instruments and play a sad song for Azuru, and then they practice together. Not for nothing. But this time it's Makoto, Mikan, and Sato. We have a lot of horn bearers in play. Chris gives Joe a baseball cap. Joe pulls a baseball bat out of nowhere and says it's all about the Mets, baby. Chisa gives Mikan an apple. Mikan has a bite. Thanks them. Immediately starts coughing. That apple was poison. The Archon see Gripsel and Maki grant her a Hydro Vision. Big Junko accepts her shadows. Big Junko gains a power persona. Nagito tries to kill Big Junko. Big Junko tries to bribe him. Nagito takes the money and somehow, someway kills Big Junko. Pomni hums a song to herself. Natsumi doesn't understand how to skateboard, but knows how to swing one around. Swing your skateboard round and round. Pomni. Chris and Mahiro are on the ground, dead. They are not alive. Joe, Mew are just chilling out, and Joe's petting her because she's a sheep. Nekomaru ambushes Kole, murders her. Rest in peace. Goodness gracious, this has actually been a pretty violent game, especially as Hiroko decides to put Mew out of her sheepy misery. Mikan lays around vulnerable, too weak to move. She's poison bad. Kanan accepts her shadows. Kanan gains a power persona. Juju finds a shiny red balloon. It's such a dangerous place for such a poppable entity. Kurumi casts a rod in the river, pulls out a tuna. Someone's gonna be eating good tonight. Mishima can't believe Nagito's killed someone. Kawakami's ready to defend her friend. Silverwood spots something shiny in the distance. Sayaka can't wait to kill again. Taka has seen the heels running wild, also turns face. Halara does their best to avoid Kokichi. Hina also finds the climate change remote, and look at this. Corey, our agent of chaos, is back as a ghost. Oh my. Monica knocks out So in a fist fight, grants him grants him a death collar. Akechi sets up his table, Jin's in a headlock, RKO'd through the table. Paimon finds some moon shoes, not till she ever walks. Kai finds a boombox, plays some sick beats. Monica's lifeless body is writhing with maggots. Kafka jumps higher than the tree line, sticks the landing. Vivia gets an Animo Vision, granted by the Archons. Auroran runs the Yeet Ball back that has survived pretty much this entire round with getting stolen, and he gets a big touchdown. Nahida has thinking plans to get out of here. Teto plucks a tree out of the ground. It started when an alien device did what it did to stick itself upon his wrist with secrets that are hidden. Now he's got superpowers. He's an ordinary kid. He's Nagisa 10. And Sakura looks up at a tree to see mistletoe hanging above. Arrow nowhere in sight. We must proceed, though, to this Clear Day Loon for Monica, Daisaku, Big Junko, Chris, Pomni, Mahiru, Kole, Mew, Jin. We are scooting through. We still have 43 left, but I think we have a lot of big items in play. So we want to keep that in mind, keep that focus, keep that energy as we tiptoe through the rest of this game. Who will come in on top? Who will earn a spot in the finale? Next time we proceed and find out. Next round? Oh my, yeah, as I said, there's a lot of things in play that could cause some shenanigans that could happen. So let's scroll up and see what shenanigans have happened. Shall we? Sakura looks for someone dumb enough to believe her. Kotoko calls down an arcane fury on Nagisa, filling with an inner rage. Nagisa quivers strangely, then starts to get taller and thinner until he just becomes a line and disappears. Auroran, mysterious gas, knocks out Linny and Maya, death calls on the both of them, and that will prove to be detrimental for a couple of people. Maki uses Hydra to playfully splash Teto. Teto's not amused. Akechi has found another table. I'm gonna tell you what, mans might be table crazy. Sakura tries to kiss Akechi under the mistletoe, but instead kisses Kurumi, who kills Sakura. Paimon and Kafka have an intense jump off, which ends with Kafka jumping to the moon. She can't breathe on the moon. Vivia stalks Paimon. I believe she might have some ability to breathe on, not ability, but maybe technology to breathe on the moon at this point in her game. Vivia stalks Paimon, consumed with darkness from the gold they're carrying. Ooh. Hina misses the spooks and jump scares and changes the calendar from nothing to October. Oh man, does it backfire? Actually, one of them was not her fault, so let me take a couple steps back. Halara jumps into a pile of leaves, unfortunately the leaves were covering a pit. Halara falls in and perishes. Kanan, Kokichi, Maya, Nijima, Lenny, and so we're all forced to play the majority game. Oh, that's the majority game. Nijima was voted the most. However, she was the keymaster, and so every single one of them, Kanan, Kokichi, Maya, Nijima, Lenny, so were all eliminated and suffered a gruesome demise. One day I'll get a violin. That day is not today though, so we will proceed. Kibo and Natsumi rather have a costume contest, and Natsumi rather dresses as a Reaper, while Kibo dresses as a scientist, same as every year, and Kibo gets sliced up, same as every year, yikes. Sato finds a massive stack of apples as well, and Apple Day keeps the doctor away. Teto, Paimon, Hina, Chiaki, Hiroko, and Kurumi all get together to carve a jack-o'-lantern, or jack-o'-lanterns plural. Auroron wasn't invited. In an act of revenge, he dons a pumpkin on his head and slaughters them all in the forest. Oh my. Kakoto eats something she shouldn't have and dies of horrible stomach pains. Nekamaru's ready for a winter vacation. Dedu pops his own balloon and has the creepiest smile on his face. Makoto prints out invitations for his Halloween party. Mukuro finds a pitchfork. Natsumi finds a bunch of tactical combat gear. Kai grants him, gets a Dendro vision. Didn't he have Animo? Mishima also has a tank. Uh-oh. Nagito tries to kill Natsumi, but Natsumi, has the combat gear. I'll tell you what. Diverts the blow. Monica steals Mishima's tank while he's asleep. Taichi just wants to end it already. Nahida wonders if she should build a machine that makes Yakiniku. Nahida then sees Mikan on her last legs and decides to research a cure. They create a machine to suck the poison from Mikan's body, and it works. Mikan has a new lease on life. I think that might be the first time someone's researched a cure and cured a poison person, because poison is usually detrimental. If you don't fix it in like 2 rounds, you out of luck. Good on you, Nahida. She's brilliant. Joe and Sayaka sip on cider together. Chisa gives Kawakami a red Macintosh. Corey misses being out of dinner. Kawakami finds a dapper suit, puts it on. Taka fights for truth, honor, and justice. Unlike John Cena, becomes Super Taka. Silverwolf stuffs in a trap, and Chihiro gets immediately caught in it. We are all the way down from 40 now to 25. Still larger than a standard sized game, but boy did things turn around, and they might continue to do so because we have some big items still in. And a Clarity Loon 4. Nagisa, Sakura, Kafka, Halara, Kanan, Kokichi, Maya, Nijima, Lenny, So, Kibo, Teto, Paimon, Hina, Chiaki, Hiroko, Kurumi, Kokoto. Well, what can I say except next round? We got 25 left. I don't believe any champions are still in. Is Maya still in? No, Maya also died. All champions are out because Kurumi's also dead. Yes, all champions are gone outside of any revivals. Unless, you know, maybe some sort of champion, or I guess Agent of Chaos could possess the dead body of a champion. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? As round 4 begins, Mikan finds a skateboard. Time to do some sick moves to do. Kind of wanders off and gets lost in every scene again. Naito tries to kill Maki, but Maki retaliates and kills him instead. Auroron finds a lovely bikini and puts on. It's quite revealing. Vivia gets a gust of wind and uses it to blast Makoto right off of a cliff. Silverwolf starts their boombox, and Monica, Natsumi, and Sayaka gather around to have a good old dance party. Because it is, you know, October. However, Silverwolf has rigged it to go boom, which sounds about right for Silverwolf, and they all blow up. Nekamaru wearing leather scraps is a sight to behold. Corey is in the house. It's a party every week, baby, and is a ghost. Haunting the house. Chihiro was struggling in the trap pretty bad and cut himself. He's bleeding out. Kotoko summons a demon from her demon draws a demon summoning circle, may summon a demon next round. Joe feels sorry for Chihiro as they have a shared little trauma in the past. Frees him from the trap. Kawakami creates marketable plushies of Mikan without her permission. Mikan's mad, but they both make bank off of them, so it's all good. Taichi's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, a well-placed shot by Mukuro. Dazes Mishima. Kai wraps vines around Joe, tying up his whole body. Now Joe's trapped, will Chihiro come through and free Joe? Taka slices a scythe, opening a dimensional rift before Sparta-style kicking Maki into the spare dimension. Dark swirls around Yuri, and she's also back as a ghost. Mukuro wonders how far she can throw her pitchfork. Maki fights for her life. Junko... You guys... The glorious Junko is back. She was here once, and she had left us. But she knew that she would return. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second coming of the glorious Saint Junko. Junko, I love you. Alright, we'll continue. What a bit. Alright. Sato finds a hat. A hat rack, so many hats. Chisa's unshaken by any of this. Akechi finds a grenade, and Nahida finds some sparkles. She's got a magic wand, magic and science, wielded by the small onion. That sounds very dangerous. However, we are down to 19 after this Claire de Lune 4. Dedu, Nagito, Makoto, Monica, Natsumi, Sayaka. I could say it's anybody's game, but I won't say that until your final 10, because then it's really anybody's game, especially since we do still have 2 ghosts in. That is something to note. Keep that in mind. Will we also have our first ever person from the Despair Dimension clutch up and get a W? We will... Dang. Mukuro finds a shotgun. Akechi juggles with his grenade for a bit, kinda wanted to use it. Nekamaru casts his fishing rod, or I guess finds a fishing rod, he can catch all the fish. Corey kills Junko through ghastly means. You son of a gun. How could you? How dare you? Someone eliminate this ghost. Mikan does a sick kickflip, sick! Taka and Joe get caught in a trap, manages to free him. Finds Joe caught in a trap, manages to free him. Joe admires Taka's confidence. They are tag team partners too. They are both in, good for them. Kawakami looks amazing in her dapper suit. Kotoko checks on her demon in summoning circle, and you know what? Not to her surprise, she should just expect at this point, a demon's out. It's demon hours. Taichi creates marketable plushes of Chisa. They're both rich. Chihiro uses mysterious sass to knock out Akechi and Mukuro in order to put death claws on them. Kai summons massive vines around Chisa, bleeding her dry. Mishima snaps out of it. Nahida waves her magic wand around, sending sparkles everywhere. Yuri misses a bit out of dinner. Silverwolf practices her sick dance moves. Sato tries to creep up on Vivia, but he creates a gust of air beneath himself and escapes. Auroron's looking really good in that bikini. Maki fights for her life, and Sato has found Genocide Jack Scissors. Cute boys beware. We actually only lost 2 this round. One of them is by that stinking Corey for eliminating the second coming of Saint Junko. I guess Chisa also died, so Chisa. I hope maybe in the afterlife they're maybe like watching a little movie together in a theater. That would be cute, I think. Let's go on. Next round, let's play it out. Oh boy. Alright, well, next round might be close to the last round, you guys. As Dottore is rotting. Deserved. Taichi is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Sato gives Kawakami a cowboy hat. She won't have a chance to enjoy it. She will yi her best ha, though. Chihiro and Toko are now both rich, and they might have a chance to enjoy it because they don't perish a little bit lower. Silverwolf and Kai have an intense dance-off. Silverwolf does a flip, kicking Kai's head clean off. I guess she won. Kurumi's dead, writhing with maggots. With a flick of her magic wand, oh man, Mukuro is a sheep. Sato corners Kotoko, but Kotoko's demon mauls Sato before she has a chance to kill her. What a good demon. Joe gathers everyone for a Thanksgiving feast. Joe's in charge of the turkey. I don't know who did that. That sounds like a mistake. And it is because Akechi, Vivia, Mikan, Kawakami, and Taichi die from severe food poisoning. Makoto's dead. Taka punched a tree, and it's a late game yeet ball. We don't see late game yeet balls that often. Auroron fills his bikini with gravel, uses it as an object to kill Kotoko. Good luck solving that. Oh no. Corey is still a ghost. Mishima accepts his shadow as Mishima. Nekomaru is cowardly, Vivia is back as a zombie, and I want to point out that Yuri has found the corpse of Dotori and possesses it. Dotori is now back in this game. Oh no. Maki runs from the demons lurking in the despair dimension, and Mukuro is a sheep and grazes peacefully. That is now our final 10. And this does feel very sad, and this Claire de Lune is deserved for. Kai, Sato, Akechi, Vivia, Mikan, Kawakami, Taichi, Kotoko, Yuri. So, what do you want to talk about? I know what I want to talk about. It's your top 10. And we still have a ghost and a zombie in play, and Maki's in the despair dimension. I'm surprised she's surviving in there for so long. But more importantly, it is actually a full set in time for your... Within your final 10, your saving grace picks. Let me talk to you. We still have Mishima, who is just doing alright. He's got his persona now. He might just be vibing out for the rest of this game. We do still have Chihiro, who is bleeding out and is not having a good time. Roran, who's taken out a bunch of people at this point, and is looking to use his bikini to take out even more. As we scroll down, Seeing Red is completely in. It's not something that I noticed until later this game, and I would like to point out, they now technically have a, 20% chance to win this because of it. As we scroll further down, Yuri's out, but she did bring somebody back to life, Dotori, which we'll get to. Silver Wolf still has Monika, Natsumi, Sayaka, and Kai. In her kill count, she wants to make even more. I think they were all from a boombox except for one. As we scroll through, we have Nahida, who's just kind of been, wielding magic and science. As we keep scrolling, we have, oh boy, technically Ghost Zone, but neither of them are alive. One of them's a ghost and one of them is a zombie. That feels very fitting for like a Ghost Zone team. Nekomaru is still in here, but he is now a little bit of a coward. Will this bulky leader pull through his cowardly ways? Mukuro, who is a sheep. We've had some big sheep victories before. Maki is in the despair dimension, and of course, just now, possessed by Yuri, the doctor who was out first in this game, and we celebrated, is back. Make your picks of the people that are left first, second, third. I will make mine as well. Make them in the comments. Comment on your comment. Comment on my comment. Do what you gotta do. And if you are here right now, if you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we do this every week. We have shenanigan games like this every week, and we'll have a big championship match. I think closer to the end of spring, so we'll see who walks out with the titles. I guess there's still also a world where the titles are on the line this episode via Agent of Chaos shenanigans, but we'd have to see some fantastic revivals or zombie shenanigans or such. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I'm gonna make my picks right now though. I think we're gonna have the third coming of Saint Junko. I'm gonna be real with you. I think she's coming back again. Give me a Roran for second, because I think he's just gonna have a good game. And for third, I'm gonna take Mishima. I think that's my set. And as your final 10, we all know that they're standing strong with their hearts beating the same pulse. Determination as that of a samurai woman. Shall we? I think we must. Next round sees, haha, weak. Corey said, I'm sick of revivals. Every time somebody comes back, Corey says, nah, bang, bang. Mishima, Dotori's dead. Mishima builds a rocket who's gonna take a ship in Mishima's rocket ship, flying through the sky. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Roran flaunts his bikini in front of Nahida. Nahida is extremely jealous. Nahida then builds a machine that might revive Maya, and it works! Except the TV that's on her screen is now on her head. Yikes. Oh no. Silver Wolf accepts her shadow. Silver Wolf gains the power of Persona. Kotoko can't find her demon, or her demon can't find her because she is dead. Maya feels unsure of what happened. I guess she's alive again. Not for long. Taka runs his yeet ball back to the cornucopia for a big touchdown. Maki runs from the demons lurking in the despair dimension. Vivia dangles with limbs around fiddling with them. And I want to point out, I feel like winning as a TV head might be the magnum opus, because I feel like the TV heads almost never survive a full round. Which is correct, because there's some trash. Never forget, we hate the TV heads. But we must go on. Chihiro bashes in Maya's TV head, leaving them defunct. Which is actually a lot more clever than I'm giving it credit for. Joe doesn't really understand what's happening. Mukuro's still a sheep, and Nekomaru has gained the power of Electro from the Archons above. They see his potential, and I see a potential terrible turnabout for Dottore, haha, weak. Maya. That now leaves us with 9. 9? I thought it would have left us with 8. Who knows? Not me. Did somebody come back? Maya came back and then died again. That's right. That all happened in one round. It's still Samurai Woman. I was like, who came back? Maya. Briefly. It was for a drink of water. Next round, oh boy. We have zombies going crazy now. Mishima has upgraded Garu to Gorilla. Nuclear Waste, and now Monika's back as a zombie. Oh, hold on. Monika's back as a zombie. As a tag team champion. Corey's here as a ghost. As a tag team champion. We might have to lock in for a little bit. Because that is also a potential Chaos Reigns, this or the vice versa, are potential Chaos Reigns, variants. Joe feels horrible for what he did. Mukuro is a sheep and wanders off too far, becoming food for the wild beast. Nekomaru summons a shock so powerful it fries Joe alive. Vivia tackles Auroron to the ground, biting him. Auroron is now a zombie. Vivia with a +1 zombie count. Could win the game via zombie means. Silver Wolf summons their persona using Free blasting and burning Taka's face. Auroron as a zombie continues to rot as he continues to move. Chihiro puts a Deathclaw on Nekomaru. Kawakami's back as a ghost as well. Maki avoids the dark trees who's still trying to grab them. Nahida's trying to use her magic wand, but it seems it's used the last of his magic. The star tip has grown dull. She tosses it aside, and Taka recalls something about Joe, sobs quietly, because he's died this round. And so did Mukuro. And we have a terrible turnabout for them both. Mukuro. Joe! 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 Bong, bong, bong. But, that being said, it is actually still Samurai Woman. Not often do we get to hear Samurai Woman 3 rounds in a row. I don't think we're gonna hear it next round. I think there's a real chance that we don't hear it. Crisis of Fate this round, actually. Let's see how this all plays out. Yeah, I gotta, oh, hold on. A possession. Maybe we will. Oh, maybe we will, because somebody else has unlost too to do down there. Chihiro and Taka summon, surround Nekomaru in a pool. With the power of Electro, Nekomaru electrocutes them both. Kawami. You come and go. You come and go. Kotoko's demon can't find her. Renmaru's corpse is writhing with maggots. Maki's still running from the demons. And I see her running. From the demons in the Despair Dimension. Silverwolf starts sobbing uncontrollably. Dang, Vivia's going crazy, actually. Corey, who's found the corpse of Chisa, possesses it. Doesn't last for long. Dedu wanders back and gets unlost. Auroron's dangling his withered limbs around. Nahida finds Thursday Davy's left shoe. Monika's still a zombie, but Vivia tackles the newly brought back Chisa, bites her, and turns her into a zombie, leaving us at our final 5, as Mishima feels defeated and decides to let him in. That being said, we do have to go on. We do have to say that everything is on its way to completion with a terrible turnabout for Chihiro, Taka, Corey. No titles on the line, but I suppose there is still a chance. There is still a world. But we must play on to see if that world exists. But right now, it's no longer a Samurai Woman because Mishima, Nahida, Dedu, Silver Wolf, who's just sobbing, and Nekomaru are your final 5, and they're all caught in what we like to call a full set of 5 and a crisis of fate. Let's play it out. Next round sees nothing yet, but I think we got another zombie in Taka. Auroron's still a zombie. Maki's still running from those demons. Silverwolf, who is crying, finds a sword, shiny and sharp. Oh my gosh. We might be at Samurai. No, we won't. Nahida, I can't help but admire her own genius mind. Kawakami, this would be our dinner. Nekomaru uses the power of Electro on the dead body of his ally Azuru. The electricity is enough to restart his rebel heart. Azuru is determined to survive this now. Monica dangles her wood limbs around, fiddling with them, and Mishima summons their persona, uses Garula, the wind blasting to do back with such power. A tree falls as he collides with it. If anyone colliding with a tree would make it fall, it would be Dedue. It is still a crisis of fate because of that, but it's also a terrible turnabout for the goodest of boys. Dedue. Poor Dedue. You love to see him, but we also love to see how this thing ends. We have a lot of volatile elements in play right now, so I'm excited to see how it plays out. Look, we got a game with 6 others at the end here. You never know how it's gonna play out because Vivia's dangling his withered limbs around. Kawakami's playing with her incorporeal body. Maki runs from the demons lurking in the despair dimension. Nahida finds a waffle. Mishima was lost in his thoughts, finds a wish ring, won't get a chance to use it. Azuru found a table. Taka is dangling his rotting limbs around, and Monica tackles Mishima to the ground, biting him, turning him into a zombie. And I want you to keep that in mind. Mishima turns into a zombie, and Monica's now at +1. That's something to note. Silverwolf artfully slices Nekomaru in 2 with her sword. Nekomaru is the only one gone, at the very least the only one dead, outside of, you know, undead folk, after a terrible turnabout 4. Nekomaru. Which brings us once again, or I guess for the first time this episode, to our final 3. We've been at 5 twice and now we're at 3, but once again we have 7 others. That being said, most of them are zombies. So we could end next round, but I want to point out there is a high likelihood now for a zombie victory with so many zombies. It is actually turning into a little bit of an apocalypse. Next round, let's see how it plays out. Will Azuru carry on for Nekomaru, who just got cut in 2? I'm not sure, because we have another ghost in play. Kawakami's still a ghost. Taka, withering. Vivia, withering. Monica, withering. Mishima, withering. Not Slytherin, not to be confused with Slytherin. Darkness rolls around Kai's body as a ghost. Maki, oh, wait a minute. We might have to do some paying attention. This might be actually the end. It is. Oh. Well, let me run that back real quick. It's over. I didn't think so. I didn't think it was over, actually, but I guess it is. Kai's back as a ghost, but let's start here as Silverwolf is just like, I'm just gonna feed my rats in this cave because there's too many zombies outside. Realize that, and that was a wise idea because we now have a steamed radish because Nahida's enraged, and as she's angry, she turns around right into a chokeslam through a table, taking her out by Azuru, and Azuru, trying to survive this, was not watching as he stands up from that chokeslam. He stands up right into the jaw of Chisa, who chomps down hard on his shoulder. He starts to lose his cognizance. He starts to lose everything that was Azuru. He's zombified. Unknowingly in her cave, feeding those rats, maybe on her phone. Silverwolf, for GameStop, for Chiaki, and for gaming, has pulled it off after one final terrible turnabout 4. Nahida. Which means they gamed on, because they are your winners. She had 5 KOs to her name. You can't say that she was just playing games today. Or if she was playing competitively. Saw the dangers of zombies, has played many zombie games enough to know when to go on the offensive and know when to hide out. And that moment of hiding out saved her, and it's the reason that Chiaki in gaming and Silverwolf for GameStop take the win. There it is. What a show. It's all gone down. We'll start at number 1. Auroron had the most KOs, a lot of them from, you know, shenanigans, which, shenanigans happen. Silverwolf had 5, Joe had 5, Natsumi and Nekamaru with 4, everyone also 2 or less. We had a good show. At the end there, it was really uncertain when anyone was going to win because we still had ghosts, we had zombies, we had Maki in the Despair Dimension. A lot of shenanigans could have gone down, but at the end, it went down with Silverwolf surviving. Congratulations to her. You love to see it. And you know what? You love to see the gamers. So GameStop took the W. As you're watching this, I am out of town. I'll be back Sunday. However, as you're watching this, if you saw yesterday's upload to Quick Lock, I was out of town for that too. So go ahead. View the things. View all the things. Ahaha. Tomorrow, we're actually starting Trails from Zero. From what I've heard from Saturday, it is a very interesting concept to start. I don't know if he finished the prologue or not. I don't have all those details, but I mean, like, it was fun, I guess. He seemed to enjoy it. Sunday V will be back with more Rebellion. Is anything confirmed for that Rebellion? Man, I don't know. We'll see what the general manager set up. That being said, I am taking off. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a fun Rebellion at the very least. Toodaloo Flight Crew. Until next time, until next Friday, thank you for watching.